Oh, hey YouTube, what's really good? My name is Vivid, coach of the South Texas Sableyes, and this is going to be the final team builder for the WBE VGC. Now, I am pretty proud of myself for basically only missing one upload of this throughout the entire season. That was last week with my battle versus, which is a weird thing to say. So yeah, anyways, can we get a pog in the chat for just the consistency, but also thank you so much for all the support on the team builders and the battles throughout the season. It means the absolute most. Now, our opponent this week is none other than Aaron Cybertron Zhang, coach of the Melbourne Rotoms. So we're ending off the season with a little bit of a bang. Now, my playoff contention kind of rests in this battle, which is just super low pressure since Aaron's not a great player. That's a lie. I'm just trying to psych myself up. Aaron's actually one of the best in the world. If you are unaware of that, definitely go check him out after this video or after the battle. His channel will be linked in the description below. Aaron's a monster. Anyways, moving along from this, let's just look at Aaron's team, look at what we are bringing to try and counter Aaron's team, and go from there. One last thing before we actually get into these teams is that I really want to stress how thankful I am for my front office this season. Specifically Adi and Duke. They've been incredibly helpful in building, in prep. They've done a lot for me, and I am just incredibly thankful for them. Whatever links I can find of theirs will be in the description down below as well. Just massive shout outs to those two dudes. Also, I just want to take a couple moments to mention, one, I have a t-shirt design that's live on Teespring right now. It is Halloween themed, spooky season improved. My wife did the design. I think it's fantastic. It will be available until Halloween. If you want one, go grab it before it is gone. If you enjoy watching me here on YouTube, you will probably also enjoy watching me on Twitch. That would be the second link in the description down below. And if you're new here, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Most of my views are coming from people who aren't subscribed, and it would mean the absolute most to me to have you along on this journey with me. All right, that's it. Let's see what Aaron has, and let's see what we're bringing to try and beat it. All right, so Aaron has access to Toxtricity Gmax, which we don't think he'll bring because it looks like it has a pretty soft matchup. Excadrill, which we 100% expect. Primarina, which we 100% expect. Whimsicott, again, we expect it. Gigalith pairs with the Excadrill, we expect it. Noivern is our other expect, and then Decidueye. So basically like these right here. He also has Stoutland, Bronzor, Seaking, and Unpheasant. We don't think any of these are going to come. Bronzor might come as sort of like an anti-Trick Room piece. It's not particularly great inside Trick Room, but it can reverse Trick Room or operate in Trick Room well. So we're definitely expecting sort of like subtract the Tox here. We're expecting these 6 Pokemon. Again, I think the only one I could see him cutting from this would be the Noivern, which is hard to say, but the rest of his team just looks so good. So yeah, this is what Aaron has access to. Again, we're trying to build around like specifically beating Excadrill with Sand up, not letting Whimsicott set up Tailwind because Aaron has just had really good speed control throughout the entire season. So that's something we want to deny him of, and just a way to sort of invalidate Primarina because it looks like a really reasonable max target, and also just like it does a lot of damage against my team. So we want to invalidate it as best as possible. The rest of his team we can kind of play around. Those are sort of like the key points. Also, we have to be kind of conscious of Gigalith just because it sets up Sand, and one of our components this week is Weather. All right, so the first Mon we're actually bringing this week, and this is again massive shout outs to Adi. This was 100% his idea. We're bringing an Inner Focus Indeedee. Inner Focus because we actually want to be able to click Fake Out. We basically have to fake out the Whimsicott in order to deny Aaron the speed control that he's been given all season. Whimsicott's just really good at setting up Tailwind. If we let him do that, it gives him a lot of offensive momentum. So this Indeedee set is specifically here to fake out a Whimsicott on turn 1 each. Like we always lead Indeedee, almost always. There's not really many situations where we don't. Mystical Fire is part of invalidating Primarina. It's going to do 0 for damage, but it will lower Primarina's special attack. So if he decides to max the Primarina, we can hurt it in that way. Helping Hand just to boost whatever our offensive piece on the board with Indeedee is, and then Ally Switch because it gives us a decent amount of momentum this week. Like if we get correct ally switches, it can be massive in saving Duraludon or Seismitoad, which are our sort of like core offensive pieces this week. This Duraludon, also like the speed tiers here are just to creep basically. Like anything, all the speed tiers are like anything we could creep, we're creeping, and then the rest is just invested in bulk. This is not really creep. I think the only thing this creeps is every week so far, Aaron has brought a Primarina with a max speed stat of 116, or a max investment of 116 EVs in speed. So this investment here just covers that basically, like just the 4. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. Don't super quote me on that. That's my current understanding of this build. I haven't like actually gone in and done the full-blown conversation with my guys to figure it out. But this is a really bulky Duraludon. We don't have a ton of special attack because this week a lot of our pressure is coming from being able to sort of invalidate Aaron's threats. So this Duraludon eats up a ton of moon blasts or D-gleams from Primarina. If we max it, we always live 1 drill run from Excadrill. Also just like having the Indeedee with ally switch, that lets us tank more drill runs because he has to call those turns correctly in order to actually get off maximum damage. We can increase our own damage output against Excadrill by upping our defense with max steel spike and then body pressing it after we're not maxed anymore. Thunder covers the Primarina, and then Dark Pulse here is really good this week just because lowering special defense of Aaron's team is going to be really crucial for picking up certain KOs. The Seismitoad here is actually, I'm a big fan of it. I think that this set is really smart. It's pretty bulky. A lot of Aaron's threats against us, or a lot of Aaron's threats that we need to have more bulk against are special, mainly looking at things like the Primarina and the Noivern. So investing a lot into the special defense of these two makes a ton of sense. This set gives us a clear OHKO on Primarina with Power Whip, which is insane. This set gives us really good calcs with Bounce on Decidueye outside of max. Like if he maxes Decidueye, we're not doing a ton of damage to it. I think we do a little bit less than half. If it is not maxed, we do a really like a big chunk of damage. I don't think we OHKO, but sort of like fake out into Whimsicott plus bounce is an OHKO on Whimsicott, so there's that. We have protect here because there are going to be turns where we need to make smart calls to protect with this team. This team is offensive at its core, but we can play it defensively, mainly because we have sort of ways to pivot with Duraludon and Pelipper. These two just defensively check each other very well, so Excadrill has to worry about going for ground stab moves if we have a Pelipper in play, right? Or if we have Pelipper in the back. Like it makes it harder to just slam Max Quake into the Duraludon slot if you know we have Pelipper in the back. So that's a big component of what we're doing this week. I also feel like I should mention Indeedee Duraludon is like our set in stone game 1 lead. It does a lot. It always shuts down Indeedee. We can max if he leads, I think it's if he leads Excadrill or Primarina, we always max turn 1, just so that he doesn't get as much as he can out of his maxes. So then we have Toad and Pelipper, sort of like our Rain Core. Looks really good. Always having Pelipper in the back because he has that Sand Core that we have to be sort of cautious of. This Pelipper set is also pretty bulky. It's not like super duper bulky, but we have a reasonable amount of defense investment. That way we live, I don't remember, I think it's 2 rock slides from Excadrill outside of max, so like just 2 raw rock slides. I think it's from Excadrill because it's not stab. I don't think we live 2 rock slides from Gigalith. Or maybe we just live 1. I don't remember the exact calc. Again, I have to sort of like go and talk to my front office and like fine tune all these calcs. I'm running things as we speak. I'm just kind of running out of time, so I have to record this now. But the Toad Pelipper combo is really bulky. Again, Power Whip, OHKOs, the Primarina, Bounce gives us good calcs. Liquidation does a ton of damage to most of his Pokemon. Liquidation is hitting very hard. Like even Primarina is taking something like 20% from max Geyser in the rain. It's like 20 to 30%. It's good chip. The Pelipper here, Hurricane Spam, looks really solid. He has a lot of Pokemon that Hurricane hits hard. Hydro Pump hits the rest. We almost never want to lock into U-Turn Tailwind because we're Choice Scarfed. I mean, U-Turn is fine to pivot out, but Tailwind is not something. We're trying to deny his speed in different ways this week, so Tailwind is not something we really want to click. Rapidash here is kind of a flex slot. This could have been a couple of Pokemon. It just has really good coverage this week. Is really solid coverage against Aaron's entire team. So if we wanted to bring another offensive piece, like if I needed to sort of pivot after game 1, or I think I mean, this is probably arrogant. I really think I'm going to win game 1. I think I'm going to win game 1 off of Fake Out and Indeedee. It's game 2 and 3 that I'm going to be at a massive disadvantage because Aaron is really good at pivoting and making smart calls and playing around things. He's really good at that. I'm not. So Rapidash is a piece that we can bring in, and then Amoonguss is a piece that is really threatening inside Team Preview. Like Rapidash just has good coverage. Amoonguss really threatens to sort of spore, redirect, and also Energy Ball is pretty reasonable coverage this week just because of Primarina, Gigalith, and Excadrill. It doesn't hit the Excadrill for super effective damage, but it hits it reasonably hard. Something else I want to mention is that the Indeedee, the Mystical Fire here, actually 2-hit KOs most standard Excadrill sets, which is pretty massive. So yeah, this is the team we're bringing. I think we have a really solid strategy, like I said, leading Indeedee Duraludon with Toad Pelipper in the back. We can switch to Indeedee Toad game 2 if we feel like he's going to adjust for Duraludon, because a lot of the adjusting he can do for Duraludon makes Toad Indeedee a much better lead. Like, we're kind of predicting game 1 is going to be Whimsicott Primarina. It's a lead he seems very comfortable with. It's also just a solid lead overall. Like, speed control plus Primarina is very, very good. So that's what we're kind of anticipating. And Indeedee Duraludon is really solid against that. Game 2, he could lead something like Primarina Excadrill or Excadrill Whimsicott. Like basically an Excadrill lead. I don't think Aaron's ever going to lead Excadrill Gigalith because he's the type to put his weather setter in the back, which is why we always have to have ours in the back. Like, it doesn't make sense to lead it and then give him the weather advantage. So yeah, this is the game plan. I think it's really solid. I'm hoping I can come out on top. A win of 2-1 in this week gives me a good shot to Top Cut playoffs, because basically, if you don't know, the placement for the 8th seed of playoffs is kind of like in a really heated race right now. Me and Sierra Dawn are essentially tied. Like, we have the exact same record. I'm playing Aaron this week. She's playing Wolf. So we're playing what a lot of people would say are the 2 best players in the league. Not to like throw shade at any other players, but just the 2 who have the most proven results in the VGC format. Kyle A is only 1 differential point behind us and is playing Reversal. So if Kyle wins 2-0 and Sierra and I both win 2-1, we're in a 3-way tie. If I lose, if I lose 1-2, Sierra loses 1-2, and Kyle wins 2-1, we're in a 3-way tie. There's just a lot of situations where we end up in ties. So really winning 2-1 is like the lowest bar that I'm trying to set for myself, which is hard to do against Aaron. Like, that's a really tough ask. But that's really what I'm shooting for here. At a bare minimum, I want to pick up a game, because winning any number of games gives me a better shot at top cutting here. So that's it. This is the team. This is what I'm bringing. I think these sets are really good. I didn't go into a lot of the EVs here, just because like these EVs are set to live. I think we're living a max overgrowth from Primarina. Always with Rindoberry Max, we always live a max overgrowth from, I think it was calced like it was Expert Belt or Life or Decidueye. We always live like 1 max overgrowth from Decidueye, and this is, I like the builds are really smart. They're like EV'd really well. They're fine-tuned. The Pelipper here is to outpace basically everything on his team, and we hit hard, but we're also bulky. The Rapidash here is just offensive, like it's as offensive as it could be. And then the Amoonguss here is just built to take physical hits, because a lot of our team is especially defensive this week. So Amoonguss can be a piece we pivot into if we feel we need more physical like defense. But yeah, I think the team's really smart. I am excited. I'm incredibly nervous, but I just want to say thank you so much for all the support this season. It means the absolute most. No matter what, like win or lose, I'm going to be at least semi-proud of what I've done this season. Like, don't get me wrong, my record's not good. Like, I shouldn't be proud because I killed it. I think I'm proud of the growth that I've seen inside myself. Like, I went from not understanding the VGC format like at all to being able to get top 500 on the in-game ladder with like a Seismitoad team. So I think that moving forward, I don't know when we're going to do the next WBE draft, but I think that I will be in a much better place to do much better that season. So win or lose, whatever happens, just know that we've gotten a lot better. I'm learning, I'm growing, and we're going to do better next. And again, thank you so much for all the support this season. It's meant the absolute most. But that's it. That's all my things for this week. Please remember to subscribe if you're new here. It would mean a ton to me. It really helps out. Like the video if you're enjoying these videos, because that also helps my video get into more recommended feeds. That's a big ask right now. I'm trying to do a lot with my YouTube channel. So if you want to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what you think of my season so far, tell me what you think of these sets, or just give me general criticisms, comments, concerns, you know, the whole gist. It would mean the absolute most. And then remember the t-shirts, they are for sale until Halloween. I think the design's really adorable. Would love for you to wear it. If you buy one, please tweet it at me. I would love to see you in the spooky season shirts. And other than that, Twitch. I would love to see you in a live stream. Live streams have been really dope lately. But that's it. Thank you so much for your time. It means the absolute most. My name is Vivid. I'm kind of done here and I have to leave. Okay, bye. Oh, you made it to the end of the video. That's dope. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more from me and make it to the end of those videos, there will be a video here and a video here. This one is a video that I think is really good, and this is what YouTube recommends. So you should watch one of them. Okay, thanks.